Ladies and gentlemen, I want to read you an article in the Business Insider. Elon Musk ruthlessly cleaned house of any Tesla workers who disagreed or got in his way, a new book says. This is August 3rd, 2021. Now, do you think any billionaire would do the same thing? Of course. With Elon Musk, because he thinks outside of the box, you're going to have books that say, oh, he's so mean. They said the same thing, or similar, about Steve Jobs. But you look at the CEO created an environment where workers who disagreed with him were swiftly ousted. Book says, well, that's going to happen with any billionaire, okay? Especially when you have New York Post articles, Twitter workers freaking out over Elon Musk and internal messages. Leaked internal communication by Twitter employees reveal work employees are overtaken by despair and anger. Well, they can't silence and suppress political opponents. This is what takes place when you're used to suppressing and marginalizing and demeaning your political opponents. Or I should say, at least silencing debate or discussion. This is what happens when there's a Hunter story with emails showing clear violations of the law, where emails that show the son of the vice president and then future president of the country is utilizing his family name to enrich not only himself, but also his father and uncle. So if this happened with Trump, if Eric Trump or Donald Trump Jr. had emails, or Kushner had emails, where they're dealing with people who are asking them, how can you use your influence on behalf of the company? And there's salacious and really bizarre photos and videos and business arrangements where they state, where people in other countries state, oh, thanks for helping us meet your father, pertaining to Trump, the way Hunter's emails pertain to Joe. And if Trump forced out a prosecutor in a country that eventually was invaded under his watch the way Joe did, do you think that maybe the New York Times, the Washington Post, BuzzFeed, all of these, MSNBC, CNN, you think Twitter would suspend the New York Times or the Washington Post for reporting it? That would never in a million years happen. That's why when they say, studies have shown that there's actually a bias towards conservatives. Like, no, there isn't. That's just one example. You can go through a whole bunch of examples. Okay? Hit subscribe, by the way, to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. Hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel below. I'll have a segment in the Stock Market Crash channel right after this segment. And we're almost at 200,000 subscribers on this channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. Just go ahead, share this segment with anyone you think might enjoy it, because Elon Musk is going to clean house. On the business platform Slack, some Twitter employees vented against the new owner. Physically cringy watching Elon talk about free speech. Why would it be cringy? Why on earth would it be cringy? Because you're going to actually have to experience a different viewpoint? Like, here's the problem with the critique about Elon Musk. For years, Twitter and anyone who supported Twitter, mainly liberal, wonderful, morally superior liberal Democrats, have said, well, if you don't like it, it's a private platform. It's a private platform. Well, now it's a private platform run by somebody who's not going to take a political side. That's why Twitter was almost kicked out of India. I have a great deal of respect for the lawmakers in India. Almost kicking out Twitter is a fantastic move, because Twitter was siding with the political party opposing Narendra Modi. And I have a great deal of respect for Modi and what he did. Because you can't go into India or any country, the US or any country, and side with a political opponent and take political sides. If you're a platform, you're supposed to be neutral. He stated he wants a politically neutral platform. Just a couple hours back, or today, for Twitter to deserve public trust, it must be politically neutral, which effectively means upsetting the far right and the far left equally. When you have every Hollywood celebrity making the most vile and insidious comments about Trump supporters, there's a punk rock musician. I love punk rock. I'm not going to say his name, but he is, a legend. And he was saying, he was saying how much he loves Ted Nugent, who is a fantastic. I love Ted Nugent. But he was saying, gosh, Ted Nugent is, says things that are provocative. And then this person, who is a legend in punk rock, labeled all Trump supporters this and that, and talked about how, anyone voting for Trump, is, this type of person, a monster of a person. It's like, you know what? And that's one of the nicer things that comes from an opposing viewpoint that anyone voting for Trump or any conservative has to deal with. Any left-leaning people. I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet at one point. I never met more vile and insidious and despicable people than morally superior, wonderful liberal Democrats who didn't like Bernie Sanders or didn't like Trump. The Rolling Stone had an article today disparaging Elon Musk and trying to say, one of the attorneys for Twitter was crying when Elon Musk purchased the company, and because of a tweet from a conservative journalist, that person was insulted. All the left does, if you are a liberal or far left Twitter account, especially if you have a phony profile, all you're doing every day on Twitter is insulting, demeaning, disparaging, mocking conservatives or Trump in the most vile and insidious manner. And so these are the people who claim they're going to fight for democracy, and they're going to protect the planet from authoritarians, and they're going to protect people from the 1930s and 1940s Germans all over the internet. And it's like, you can't even stand now, no algorithms benefiting you. Now you're completely breaking down. All the employees, one employee called Elon Musk, basically a very bad word, starting with the letter A, and said, we're all spinning our wheels and coming up with the worst case scenario. Trump returns, no more moderation. Well, that's what's going to happen. Moderation is not going to be the same type of moderation. It's going to be basically, if you break the law, like I tell everybody on these segments, when somebody had threatened my life, I went to the police department, wrote a police report, and had the officer file a police report under the profile of the Twitter user. I didn't have the Twitter user's name. So literally the fake profile was in that police report. Okay, because I showed the policeman the private messages and the threatening comments. But, existing laws, you can go ahead, you can sue people, you can do the same thing. There are existing laws, number one, that protect all Americans from speech that's harmful. Number two, you cannot say that speech is harmful to democracy because that's the bedrock of democracy. But see, that's what Democrats are used to. So their sensibilities have been infused within algorithms. And he's going to clean house. So I will go ahead and Elon Musk ruthlessly clean house of any Tesla workers. Well, if you had a business, and would you want to go, if you owned a business, if you owned a restaurant, would you want to have employees that despise you all the time, that don't work as hard as they can because they don't believe in the restaurant or the business or what you're trying to accomplish in terms of the venture? No. Tell me, it makes no sense. If you want to start, like they say, start your own platform. They said that for so many years. Well, now is the time for them to start their own platform where they could censor people. I think they might have a couple who knows, who cares? They're in the position now conservatives were in, or people on the left that didn't fall within, the mainstream. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Look, I know what I'm talking about. I used to be the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post. I used to be the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. You can read my writing then on hagoodman.com, and The Hill, the Huffington Post, Salon, the Jerusalem Post, and now in the Federalist. By the way, read my article on the upcoming stock market crash. That's another reason that Elon Musk is purchasing Twitter. And that's below in the pinned comment. They don't like the far left. They definitely don't like conservatives or Trump. And I'm voting for President Trump, so I've seen both sides. I've seen both political repercussions from both. Like Bernie Sanders is a tool of the Democratic Party. Trump fights back, so they have a lot more vitriol towards Trump. And the algorithms are designed to silence stories detrimental to the Democratic Party and amplify stories that harm Trump or conservatives or the Republican Party. Elon Musk simply wants to do away with that. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. And of course, anyone who doesn't agree with him, the man's going to clean house like he did in Tesla. Give me your thoughts. Thank you.